Welcome to another episode on the channel. In today's video, we have something pretty boring and uninspiring. So let's take a look at it and see what it's going to take to put it back together. What we have here is a 2018 Jeep Compass. And again, they are not terribly exciting vehicles, but I was tasked with finding a replacement for our Honda Fit, which has been a fantastic car, but the other half needs something that sits up higher so we feel safer. Okay, whatever. So looking through insurance auto auctions, I came across this. It had been at the auction for a couple months, and last week it came up for auction. It's actually a clean title car. It's a State Farm car, but for some reason it still has a clean title. So that was very interesting to me, just because it's easier to sell it. And the damage really isn't that bad. You can see it got into the radiator and condenser, but it's actually not leaking coolant, and the air conditioner is still working, so actually nothing's leaking in the front. It was running and driving in the video from the auction. I mean, it didn't get either of the fenders. We've got some parts in the back we'll take a look at. And this thing is super clean. It's 51,000 miles. There isn't a dent or a ding anywhere in it. I'll give it a quick wash before it goes into the garage, but it's a super clean car. And even if we take a look at the inside, it's got some theft tracking system, so I need to disable that. But it has this off-white interior, which is in really nice shape. The carpets are clean, the door panels are clean. There's no smell of smoke or anything. So this is a really clean car. Got some parts here. We'll take an inventory when it's in the garage. But yeah, I thought this was a pretty decent car. And for $4,300, I think it was a pretty good buy. So now I'm going to give it a quick wash. We'll get it into the garage and kind of inventory all the parts that are in the back, and then try to figure out what I need to order. Now these do have it has the 2.4 liter multi-air engine, which I've had in a Jeep Cherokee before. It's a good running engine, but this like 2018 or so, that's part of the years where they're known for having oil consumption issues. And I did notice that it was at the bottom of the OK area, and the sticker on the windshield shows that it's due for an oil change, like within 500 or so miles. So I mean, if it uses a quart of oil over a 5,000 mile oil change interval, then I probably won't take it in for the recall. Like a quart and 5,000 miles, a German car would laugh at that and just say that's an appetizer. Now let's take a look at the damage and what parts came with the car. Really shouldn't have any tear down in this video because the car is already tore down, which that's a good and a bad thing. So I try not to buy cars that are already torn apart, because you usually end up with parts missing, and then it's a pain to try to put them back together, and I just try to avoid that. But the car was so cheap, I figured I can make do. And in the picture from the auction, there was a pile of parts. So I was hoping like 90% of the parts would be here. So if we look at, see, we can see the bumper bar. It looks like somebody hit something pretty square in the front, but we're gonna have to replace the radiator and condenser. The fan's just touching the exhaust manifold, but it's probably okay. Once I get the radiator out, we'll inspect it, but it's probably fine. And all of the plastics up here appear to be okay. Nothing seems to be broken. The insurance, or the body shop didn't mark an X on anything up here, so we're probably okay up here. So we do need an intake tube there. The body shop was pretty nice. They taped off all of the plugs that are open, so no water would get in. And it needs a hood. I already found a white one, so it should be here next week. Could pick it up locally. And then hopefully I won't have to, if it matches pretty well, it's supposed to be in A condition, So if it matches well and has no damage, then I won't have to paint anything there, just the bumper cover. And so on this fender, something clipped. We can take a look at the wheel arch. Something clipped the wheel arch down here and pushed the fender in. So I should be able to pull that back out without damaging anything, and then just touch up the front edge of the door. And if we look at our pile of parts, we've got everything kind of laid out. We've got our headlights. The driver headlight, one of the tabs are broken off and I don't have the piece, so I'll have to get one headlight. This passenger headlight, it's got a few light scratches in it, but all the tabs are intact, so I can reuse it. And here's our wheel arch. So something just clipped it, not very hard, and bent the fender. We'll need an absorber and a lower grille. It came with the sight shields for the top of the radiator and the top of the fenders. And then we've got some air deflectors. The fog lights and turn signal / daytime running lights are in good condition, and we've got the wire harness for the bumper. The grille needs to be replaced, it's cracked. And that's pretty much, that's all the parts that came with it. So I'm gonna have to reassemble what's here so that I can see what's missing, and combine that with pulling up some diagrams from the Chrysler parts websites. I can figure out what's missing. The biggest bummer is I was hoping that there would be a bag of fasteners, but there is not. So I'm missing, I don't know, probably 100 push pins. I'm missing various clips. I'm missing all of the bolts for the bumper reinforcement. And I mean, that stuff's not expensive. It's just a pain to source them. Seems how I can't take the whole car to Ace Hardware or something with me to figure out what size those are, and everything's metric. So I guess we'll just start reassembling it and getting an inventory of what I need. And then we'll just put in a big part order, and hopefully in a couple weeks, I could have this back together. I've got it back together pretty much as far as I can. And luckily all of these small fasteners are M10s, and I just happen to have a huge bag of them in my toolbox. So got all of that stuff covered, and everything else up here is push pins, and I've got a large assortment of those, so I should be okay there. The only thing I don't have are the large bolts that hold on the bumper reinforcement, but I can get those based off of here. They're the same size, these little extension pieces. So I'll need 8 of these, and that'll take care of the bumper reinforcement. And I'm sure as I start assembling things, I'll run into situations like on this lower grille where I'm missing these little metal clips and the screw that goes with it. But I won't know that until I start putting things together. But I guess let's go part hunt and make a list and see what that comes out to. I've put together a pretty good parts list. I've just spent about $900 on eBay ordering bumper cover, a used headlight, a bunch of the splash shields, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm currently about $500 over budget on parts. And that's mostly because of the parts that are missing. So for example, the underbody tray, another splash shield at the front, and another shield, I don't remember which one, that was $300. So if they would have just put all of those parts in the car, that would have been quite a bit of money saved on this project so far. But since how I got the car for about $2,000 less than I anticipated, I'm still okay. But next step, I'm gonna get it the rest of the way up in the air, pull the wheels off of it, and we'll pull out the radiator and condenser, and then do an inspection on the car to see if it needs any maintenance items. I know it needs tires, but we'll see if it needs brakes, any suspension components, just from wear. I don't anticipate it needs too much, only having 50,000 miles and as clean as it is, but we'll do an inspection and go from there. as suspected, really doesn't need much of anything. Front brakes appear to have just been replaced. The pads are great. No issues with any bushings or anything in the front. The struts aren't leaking or anything. The rear, bushing-wise, everything looks pretty good. The rotor is perfect. There's no lip or anything on it, but it does need pads. It's almost down to the squeakers. So we can throw those in pretty quick, pretty cheap. And this has got to be the weakest looking suspension I've seen on a Jeep. These bars look so fragile. Jeez. Yeah, this definitely isn't an off-road Jeep. But you can see underneath the thing is spotless. South Carolina car, zero rust anywhere. Same thing on this side. Pads and should be good to go. Now for the tires, apparently they got a flat recently and they put one Goodyear Assurance tire on it, which is like new. Then the other ones are Salin Chinese tires, or Vietnamese, I'm not sure. Cambodia. So that's what the other three are. They're questionable quality at best. So I'm gonna go to Champ Tires to see if I can find 3 Goodyear Assurance tires and then swap the cheap ones out for the Goodyears. But other than that, if we come up to the front, I didn't see any transmission leaks. The only thing is a little bit of seepage, which appears to be from the oil pan. It's wet around the upper edge and it just kind of runs down to here. It's not puddling yet, so I guess we'll just monitor this for a little while. It's not the oil filter. So that Jeep Cherokee that I had with the same engine, it had the same problem. The oil pan was leaking. It was leaking pretty heavily, but doesn't seem to be too bad right now. So I guess the next thing, we'll get the radiator and condenser out of it. I got all the disassembly done, got the radiator out of it, got the condenser out of it. The radiator was a bit of a battle. These quick connects get really stuck. I've run into this on Volkswagens before, and I just had to pry and twist, and it took probably a half hour to get those off. And to make the job a lot cleaner, since the radiator was already going in the garbage, I just drilled a small hole on the bottom of the plastic part here and let it drain out before I worked on the hoses. And looking at the fan, the fan doesn't spin very well at the moment because the radiator is up against it. But I mean, it's not damaged. It's pushed away a little bit, the plastic housing, but nothing's cracked. So that'll be good to reuse. Now one thing, don't throw anything away until you're done with the project because you'll probably miss something and need it. So we need these isolators, these little rubber pieces, and there's probably some various clips and screws that are hidden on some of these parts that we've disassembled, and we'll need them again. But I guess that's pretty much it for now. I'm gonna order a whole bunch of parts. While I'm waiting on parts, I wanted to fix this fender. If you recall, this lower part of the fender was pushed in and the door was rubbing on the front of it. So I wanted to experiment a little bit. I didn't have the camera running, so you really can't see anything anyway. But I pulled the wheel well liner out, and you could see that this brace was bent. Like something hit it about here and kind of shoved it to the back and to the inside and bent this brace. And there's also one like this on the inside that was bent. So I took it, first thing I did, I put some pressure on it, pulling out, and took a hammer and hit on this brace to flatten it out. And that got it pretty close. And then I took a bar on the one on the back side to pull it this way, which kicked the fender out and got it a lot closer back here. And then the final step to get it into position, we put a block of wood and then took pry bar and got behind it and just kind of worked it until it came back out into position. I wasn't too worried about dinging the fender, since how the wheel arch molding covers. You can see a line here where it covers. So everything pretty much from here down and along here is covered, but it didn't ding it anywhere. So I think it came out pretty good. The alignment's good. I just need to get a touch-up pen and then I can do the front edge of the door and you won't notice it. All right, I was able to reuse all of my clips. Got those on the wheel arch molding. Put our home silencer back into place. And then I should just clip back together. That seems fine. Everything's attached as it should. And there's a gouge in the wheel arch molding right here, but instead of buying a $100 plus wheel arch molding, I just bought a $24 set of molded mud flaps off of eBay, which will come around the corner and cover that. And there's a little scuff up here, but you don't really notice that. So that's the cheap solution.